GM Adrienne, good
Hey.
morning. All right, we're gonna have a lot to dive into. By the way, our backgrounds look so cute. We got a whole Legions and Dragons thing working here, and from Octant, and look how cute. So
Adorbs.
Cute.
We just had a show less than 24 hours ago. Surely there can't be news to talk about.
No, there's nothing to talk about whatsoever. We have lots of fun things to talk about. We're going to do a very quick update on CastOut, full CastOut show later. We're going to get into the news. There's some things brewing. And then we're also going to talk about, who's crashing out on the timeline. Just a smidge. We're going to talk about that a smidge and other fun things. So dive in. We are going to kick this off with a little intro, and we will be back in about 55 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Noun Prof and Adrienne, for another episode of GM Farcaster. And thank you to our premier partner, Octant. Be sure to check out all the latest at octant.app and mint your Dgens and Dragons cards at highlight.xyz. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, May 21st. I had to think about that. And you are here with Noun Prof and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And I'm trying to stir up some folks on Twitter. I was like, come see what's crashing out over on Farcaster. That might, be a little more provocative than our usual. We just giving away free money.
No clickbait.
No clickbait whatsoever. No.
We're not tempting people with drama.
I mean, there's drama. There's free money. Like, what are you even doing? Like, why aren't you over here? We get paid to experience the drama. Come on.
Yeah, I guess that's a good story.
For the crypto Twitter folks, I'm telling you, that's the way to go. All right, let's dive in. We've got a few things to chat about. I'm going to start with just really quickly. CastOut yesterday, we did a scavenger hunt. It was crazy. And throughout the day, I thought to myself, what is wrong with you? Why do you do this to yourself? But also I was laughing and having a lot of fun while it was all going on. So we'll dive in more at noon. We're going to have our noon CastOut show. And if you don't know what CastOut is and you're like, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, this is a Survivor-inspired competition game that we've been playing all over Farcaster for the past 2 weeks, and we're coming up on the final. We have our final 2 tribes, which is Good News and Cast Me Outside. And the last challenge will go live today at noon. So come hang, find out all about it. And in related news, the Ponder challenge is still floating about. And this was from Kojo. This dog, Bert Wurst, is absolutely ravaging the Ponder outcomes today. You see Bert, you bet on Bert. It's very simple. I've made lots of money on Bert.
There's a lesson in there.
I made lots of money on Bert and Ponder polls. Just bet on Bert. Look at me, I'm the founder now. This is the other one that he was involved in an alt universe. Who was the best co-founder for V, and Bert Wurst also won there. And so there you go. He has ideas. The dog has some good ideas. So there you go. Dan, we may have replaced you. This from Varun. Varun's been very chatty, so maybe this is something to this. Just kidding, Dan. We're not replacing you with Bert. Although he does make it a great sidekick. This from V. Warpcast spam labels are improving. Our new system uses LLMs to make better decisions. It will make fewer mistakes in both directions and will prevent legitimate users from getting the spam label. We expect fewer users to get the spam label as a result of this change. It may take a few weeks to roll out fully. So what's changing? Labels are now binary instead of a threefold point scale. They will be either likely to be spammy or unlikely to be spammy. Our new models use LLMs to look at profiles and check for inauthentic behavior. They also factor in verifications and many new signals to get more accurate. There's a little bit more there, but I wanted to just touch on this part as well. So Farcaster verifications are coming soon, which is verify your account by connecting two socials, X, phone, GitHub, and holding 25 USDC in your wallet. And this was in response to that. A few people have pointed out that they have neither X or a GitHub, which good for you, whoever you are. Congratulations on winning at life. If you're active and earning rewards, you won't have to connect socials. Exact threshold TBD. If you're a brand new user, you can pay to skip connecting socials. 3, we're also going to add more socials and on-chain verifications over time to make this easier. So I think this is just where they're starting and then continuing to add other types of verifications and hopefully some more on-chain verifications too. Maybe an integration with Icebreaker or something like that would be pretty cool. So this also connects with the other big thing that's happening, which is, I think I have this next. Yes, we're planning to launch a new optional Pro protocol subscription. Lots of chat about this. We touched on this yesterday at a basic level. We didn't have details, but we had they kind of floated it out there. Would you pay for a Pro subscription? So here's what came out from DWR yesterday. We're planning to launch a new optional Pro protocol subscription. 1, at launch, subscribers will have a Pro badge on their profile. 2, subscription will be on-chain and part of the protocol. 100% of the proceeds go to casters, developers, and weekly rewards. This in addition to the existing 25K week in rewards. 3, planning to add longer cast, 10K characters, and up to 4 images per cast for Pro subscribers. Needs a protocol change. Additional features over time. For $120 a year, $10 a month, why are we doing this? The protocol needs to find long-term revenue source that can continue to fund caster and developer rewards beyond any one company. We originally thought storage fees could be that, but we've realized that storage fees should be essentially free to help growth. So we're trying an opt-in Pro subscription as another model. Why now? Figuring out a long-term revenue model that works will allow us to double down on investing in growth. Okay, and then of course what followed were the memes. That's what always follows. I kind of love this image requires a Farcaster Pro account. You have not purchased a Pro account. You may not view this image. This is not real, people. This is just, a thought. And then this from Triumph, ready for the return of the power badge. And then you asked GMFC 101, our bot. I'd love to hear what you remember about power badges and any interesting stories we talked about when they used to be a thing. And it actually did a really good job with this. So if you want to learn more about the back lore of power badges, there you go. It even points.
Check out some old episodes.
Yeah, you can dive into some old episodes. It's fantastic. I was very impressed with that answer. So good job, little bot. The bot's doing great. I just mean it's
only I can make fun of the bot.
It's improved so much though. I'm very impressed.
It hasn't improved much. It's just random. Sometimes it answers and sometimes it doesn't. And
you try to give the bot a compliment and the bot mother is like, no.
I'm annoyed at the bot. I will not take compliments on the bot because it's not really that good.
Okay, so
I
do not Pro. What do you think?
But oh my goodness. By the way, I really feel like power badges feels like a lifetime ago. I barely remember.
I forgot all about
that. The reason I remember
until you said that, I totally had forgotten about power badges.
Yeah, completely. We had interns a year ago high school interns, and they were so excited that they got the power badges. I remember they created a meme about it.
Yeah.
And people were upset because they were Nepo babies. They got the power badge because we vouched for them. Okay.
That's because we had been
Farcaster
promoting them.
Pro.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think it's a great idea. I love the concept. I love the idea that it is kind of funding the protocol.
Yeah.
And there was always this idea, like if you read some of Dan or Varun's like early blog posts or things they've said, and they were talking about kind of if you were to build a protocol from scratch, how could you create a way to fund it?
This is one that I had actually had ready to go next that was about subscriptions. So Dan has also talked about subscriptions. Yeah, which was interesting. And basically, freemium as a smart, approach. So
yeah.
So continue. Sorry.
And that's why there was the storage fees. I think early on, I think maybe the storage fees were two reasons. One was funding a protocol, creating a way, for people to buy into the network, but also which then go to, protocols being a public good, so people can kind of buy in, then you can use that money to keep the protocol neutral and working for everyone on the network. And then the other thing was to prevent spam.
Right.
What the idea was, if there's a small fee to join, it used to be $9-ish, then it kind of kept going down. But the problem with spam is spammers don't mind paying because it's worth it for them.
Yeah.
So spammers would pay, but it would keep out people. And so they want to move towards make the protocol as cheap as possible. Like you want people to join or joining fee, but then kind of the freemium model of let people pay up for different features. So I think it's a great idea. Generally also, you don't know until you know, and none of these things have been tested, proven. There's no way to look back in history and say what worked. So I'm a big fan just in general of experimentation.
And Nabila in the chat, this is all we know in terms of what the advantages of Pro. We won't really know much more than this at this time, but assume that, certain features will be Pro only, but I don't know what those are besides what they've mentioned here, longer casts and additional images, which if you're paying, that's adding to, there is a storage cost, to all of this on the company, on the protocol side as well, on both sides. So yeah, you do have to figure out ways to make this sustainable. So I have no issue with, trying all these different things and seeing what's the best approach. I can't find the cast I was looking for. Here it is. Why are you constantly trying new things? Changing things. We're trying to make this whole thing work. It's still unclear. Only way forward is through action. Yeah. I mean, you don't know what's the best approach until you try it. So, if it's frustrating that things keep changing, I understand that, but also for like in my mind, I'm like, that's exactly what you should be doing. So like, I don't know. To me, that's what you do. It's a startup.
But even if it's not a startup, like we live in a world of rapid and constant change. So if you're someone who doesn't like change, there's probably a social network that doesn't change that much, and you can go there and feel comfortable for a little bit, but then it'll die.
Yeah.
And
I was just like, immediately I just thought Facebook. Facebook is probably not, they're going to be slower to change at this point in their development. They're still going to be changing, but right now, like their changes are like adding AI and things like that. But in terms of user interface, their business model, things like that, unlikely to change much at this point. But also that limits innovation. It limits like what you're going to be able to do there, all that kind of stuff. So, but those are your choices. Same thing like Instagram. That's not going to change too much from this point forward. Like they have what works and they're not going to be doing anything radical. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening. You know what I mean? Because they have loyal users and billions in the B of them. So when you get to that level, you don't change as much because it's way more rocky to do so. So like, you're not going to do that, but also think about the limitations of those platforms. I don't know. They're boring to me. So I prefer to live in the chaos. I don't know. Yes. Do we like chaos? I like chaos.
I actually don't even find Farcaster that like more chaotic than others.
Yeah. It's really not. It's really not. So, but we do get paid over here, which is nice. So I do appreciate that. I appreciate that. This was the rewards leaderboard results from yesterday. Moon Poppy, this is from Brad Q. Moon Poppy takes down the cutest dog in the world in a late run from Android 16 to hold number 1. Bert Worst 3. SD's vibes her way back up to top 4 with nothing from Farcon but an unprecedented culture yogurt streak. Who knew yogurt was the key to to leaderboard glory? This top 10 looks very familiar, but no, Kate Cavell second straight top 10 and 9. Garrett's return to number 10, holding off first time runs at top 10 from Blank Space and Debbie. Down leaderboard, Jay Hines holds on to 30, and Samantha takes meme coveted 69. Congratulations to our candle friend Samantha. I don't even know where I was this week, but I was somewhere in the usual tier. So, and then this from Dylan Arascato. I love it here with just an image of people sending tips and your Warpcast rewards, which is always a fun image to see. And then this led to this. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's just set the stage here. So let me actually start with this. Let me start with the PSA from Dan, because I think this is helpful. We've talked about this before. When this all rolled out, and a couple times since then, but let's remind everyone. PSA. This is from Dan. This is about Merkle. We're a US-based company. We have to follow financial regulations. This means, 1, there are certain countries we cannot provide financial services to. This is based on the OFAC list, which is countries that the US has sanctions on and things like that. There are limitations on what you can do with them in terms of business. And 2, greater than $600 a year requires everyone to complete a W-8, W-9 if they want to continue to receive payments from us. If you prefer not to provide that, that's okay, but we can't pay you. So this is your option. So if you want to get paid after receiving $600, then you do have to fill out this form. And on my end, as somebody who got to that level, like I was getting emails from Ted, because she is the head of operations now at Merkle. So this is part of her purview, and also working with users and sort of that customer community development, not customer, but community development angle. So I'd gotten a couple from her. Of course, I'm really bad with emails, and it took her, she had to hit me a few times before I responded, which must be very frustrating from somebody that she knows very well.
Someone she's trying to give money to.
She's trying to get money to, and I'm still like, I just am like that. So it took me a couple times, and then you fill out the form, and then you're done. That's it. It's very simple. So she was also, if you didn't respond to emails, she was DCing and things like that. So Luciano got a DC from Ted and got a little upset that essentially what happens is that you're not going to get your rewards if you don't fill out this form. If you've been asked and you hadn't done it, you're not going to get your rewards. So I think at that point, that's when some people are realizing they had to fill out the form. They missed the other notifications, whatever. And so Luciano got a little upset that he didn't get his rewards and realized that it was because he had a DC that he didn't respond to. And
also he doesn't follow. Yeah, well, he doesn't follow Ted. So right. She DC'd him. It showed up in the
spam
no man's land, where
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he, I think he's got it. You didn't get it. You didn't get the memo until
you didn't get the memo.
The money.
Yep. And that happens. But the other thing to note, if this happens to you, is that it's not that you're not going to get it. It's just that you're not going to get it until you fill out the form. So it's not like this is still a reward being held for you you fill out the form, the funds are sent. So it's not like you're out of luck. It's not like that. So just to make sure everyone's clear that like don't lose your shit if this happens to you. Also, don't lose your shit. Okay. So here's what happened next. We had a little bit of a crash out on the timeline. And this, I think, said it the best from SDV. It's publicly rage posting about a person in a small community never ends well. The false sense of visibility from engagement metrics is at the expense of social capital that is gone once it's gone. Keep it private and square off whatever differences you can. Otherwise, take a breather before scorching the earth around you. Okay, so for those who may have missed it, and I don't want to amplify too much of this because it's just not that important, but essentially, like the reaction that came from that situation, it was a little bit overblown, a little bit, and then sort of took over the timeline. Okay, so I was thinking about this. My approach to Farcaster in terms of the way, and let me rephrase that because I approach this probably in all my social media and social networks. I keep it professional. Like I keep it professional. Does that mean I don't have fun? I don't have friends that I've made here? No, that's not what it means. But if you've worked in a workplace, and a lot of you haven't, and this might be part of the issue. If you've worked in a company, you have a lot of different levels of friendships and acquaintanceships in a business setting. There's going to be people you do not like, and you don't even want to work with them. But you deal with it, and you have your, basic civil interactions. And then you have people that you just adore and love, and they become very close friends, and they're friends outside of work, and, you hang out and all those kinds of things. Like there's that's in the spectrum of everything in between. So when I'm thinking about how I communicate with people on the timeline, exactly, I don't. Yeah, how many times do you say fart on LinkedIn? No, you mean fart coin or dick butt would have been a better thing. But anyway, I don't. But I also don't use LinkedIn. Like I use LinkedIn almost never, maybe a couple times a year when I go and check and go, oh, I should really update that photo from 2005. Anyway, so the way I kind of approach this is like professional, civil. Every once in a while, I might go off the rails, but you really have to push me to a point, and there's only one particular time I can think of, and he deserved it. But most of the time, I'm going to be very, and I think that's a good rule of thumb for most people to just take that approach. If you have a beef with somebody, take it to the DCs, take it to the DMs. You don't need to be airing your craziness on the timeline. And this is for your sake, people who might think of doing this, because you're not coming off well. And this is going to impact who wants to work with you, who wants to use something you're building, who wants to go to your FarCon in Rome, like things like that. So there's going to be some consequences to the behavior that is, and it's completely avoidable. So my 2 cents, take it for what it's worth.
Hard.
You may not care, So
we're talking about kind of emotional regulation.
Yeah.
And people have emotions, and I think everyone is entitled to feel them and express them, right? So then it just comes down to like, where's your discipline? When you're in a work environment, and we're now talking, there's like real consequences immediately if you have a tantrum in your office. Like you're fired, bye, go home.
Yeah.
When you're, in the privacy of your home with your friends and your family, and you have you get emotional, we'll forgive that. Or people, and no one sees it, no big deal. Social media, I know, like there really is, where does that fall in the line of like, what is acceptable in terms of how you express your emotions? If you treat social media like purely like you do work, this is what happened. Like you end up with LinkedIn, and you know what? LinkedIn is the butt of the many jokes.
I know.
So I think your advice is good for any individual, right? Which is also, just know how you communicate, what you say, your actions, all of the things you put out on in the world reflects on you, and people see it. So they see your profile picture. What NFT collection, like things like that. They see how you write your bio. They see what are the things you're talking about.
I have said many times, I judge people on their PFPs.
You absolutely do. And all of this in total, can people make mistakes? And
totally.
That's okay. And we can, but I think it's also, it's like, when you start making personal digs at someone.
Yes.
You are entitled to feel that, but when you make a personal attack on someone, or like a personal offense to someone on a public timeline, just know that that's going to, you're not just saying that in the privacy of your own home. You're not just like getting it off your chest. Like, people are seeing it, and
they're reacting.
And they're reacting.
And the other thing that I think happens too when you're in this moment and you're getting a lot of attention is there's a little bit of that dopamine that plays into it, and you're like suddenly the main character, and sometimes you're enjoying aspects of that for a while.
This I don't understand.
And then it flips, and then it's not good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so long that is good. And like, so if you're all of a sudden at the top of the leaderboard and you're feeling yourself, some of that attention is not positive, and it's not going to have good lasting effects. So just be aware of that sort of, you can get caught up in it, I guess is the word. And Amide, you're definitely right. Great advice. However, if Farcaster gets mainstream, things like that will happen more often. Absolutely. But hopefully, other folks can maybe learn from what we're seeing, and maybe kind of take a moment, take a beat. Don't play into it so much. But again, I think of this as like a work environment with fun to it. And I'm not saying don't be authentic, but like, you don't have to cast every thought you have. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's like, let me give it a moment. Let me just pull it back for a second. No, you don't.
Cast all the thoughts.
It's like stirring the pot over here. I'm like, no, really, as much as it's entertaining for the rest of us, it may have bad consequences.
No, for sure.
So that's all. It's so funny. Yes, they will complain about a free sandwich. Also, can I just go back for a second, because I obviously have missed something on the timeline. But hear that, David? Next time I drag you for carrot dogs, take it to the DCs. I don't know what a carrot dog is, but now I got to go figure it out, because I'd rather just threaten to make them for you. Is this a hot dog made of carrots? And if so, like, that should not exist. So that's all. All right. So we've spent enough time on this. I think there was a couple more things I wanted to touch on this, if I can find it. Hold on. Oh yeah, that was that. That was this. This from Horsefacts. Need to check the astrology mini app, because there's bad vibes everywhere. I actually think there might be something to that. Yeah, Mercury is in Gatorade. Something along those lines. It does feel like something's a little off right now. And where was Cameron had said something similar. He used different words though. POV, you're catching up in the Farcaster discourse today. Something's fucky. Yep, that's accurate. And then this from Matthew: would love for this section to show the crash outs and arguments for the day. This is not a trend of the day that I care about. It's no skip albums or trending. And he was like, this is not what I'm here for. I have seen it actually pick up on controversies though, the little trending LLM thingy, which is interesting. All right. Any other thoughts on this before we move on to things that are a little more interesting?
I'll just share a quick anecdote. Yesterday, I was in dev mode, so like I was mostly off the timeline. And you know what? I didn't pick up on any bad vibes at all. And
that's so funny. Yeah.
There's a lesson in there. If you're feeling like negativity, just like log off.
Just log off. I was I was in my CastOut so I saw pieces of it, and then I was responding without seeing all the pieces. And then I see something else and I didn't realize it was connected at all. And I was like, what am I missing? I'm missing things. And then I dove in and I'm like, oh, I was missing a lot.
And I guess the only other thing I'll say is I think conflict is a good opportunity to figure out Farcaster norms.
True. Very true.
And of all the different fightings, and it seemed like there were sides, like as Farcaster mom, I love everybody. There are really good redeeming qualities about everyone. People are entitled to make mistakes. People can forgive and forget. Words are just words. They come, and so what is my point? I think the only other thing I'll say is I think there was something at some point I saw Ted respond to something Jeff had posted to, like Jeff was stirring the pot and Ted just said, hey, why are you doing, like, why? I think Jeff went after Zinger, who, because, like everyone takes their sides.
Why?
And Ted said, Jeff, why are you doing this? It takes more, like, it takes energy to make a meme and post it. It takes literally zero energy to not. And I didn't add, but my feeling is it actually takes more energy to not. Like, she's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Like, it does take energy to not say what you want to say.
Utilize the draft folder liberally.
Yes. It takes energy to be, like, it's harder to be kind than to not. And so just, it is what it is. Drama ensued. We're going to move on. We'll go back to Christian rap and we'll be fine. And
it'll be fine.
You can't avoid conflict.
Yeah, you can, for sure.
People have opinions.
It will keep happening. I did think this was interesting too, and this got me thinking. From 6, so much lore and history in this industry, and also specifically crypto Twitter. Characters who've come and gone, those who've stayed the whole time, drama, euphoria, despair, etc. Special place, makes you think. And it is, and then Octant said entertainment industry. I do agree with that. Like, there's so many crazy moments over the past few years, say 5 years or so, mostly on crypto Twitter. We have our own lore that's developed, and these moments like this, and Brian keeps popping in my head for the past 2 days. These little things of but what you also see on Farcaster that you do not see on crypto Twitter is people saying, yo, we're trying to help you here. Just chill. Pull it back. You're this, basically trying to throw up flags, stop, slow down, warning. Where on crypto Twitter, it's usually you're just fanning the flames. People are just fanning the flame and they're like, ooh, a crash out, let's go. Where there's actual hey, this is not good and this is not good for you. And so a little different in terms of that part of it, which I appreciate. But it's, I think back to at least if this isn't BitBoy live streaming as he's being arrested. It's that level of crash out is, we have not seen yet.
But even that, hey, we're trying to help you. I also want to know, when people get heated, does that even help? Maybe it's the DCs.
Really
take it to the DCs. Just DM
There's a lot of that. I think a lot of the people that I saw doing that on the timeline, my understanding, they were also in the DCs in a bigger discussion of look, just chill. Just chill, dude. What you doing?
Chill. Oh, all right. I have a question for people listening. And talking about what you just pulled up from 6 and things other people have said, which is when you kind of sent me a message yesterday evening and you were like, whoa, timeline. I'm like, what? I'm missing things. I didn't even know what happened. And in the past, on GM Farcaster, we've either covered drama directly and really covered it. And then sometimes we've kind of skirted around it and just
the memes only.
You kind of talk about the memes without addressing. So I didn't know what we were talking about today, and you kind of went at it, and we just spent the last 20 minutes talking about drama. And I feel like we're trying, we don't want to stir shit. We're not trying to create entertainment. We want to be a news show, but we also want to cover culture. So my question for people is, should we how far, what should GM Farcaster cover when it comes to kind of when there's drama on the timeline?
That's a good question. All right, our chatters, drop those
feedback, please.
Drop your feedback in the chat while I continue on for a little bit here. We've got a few more things to get into, and thanks for all these fun casts. Moving on, this from Eric Brown. Haven't seen much of this on my Farcaster TL about this. That's because we were fighting about other things. Probably a win that the TL has become less ETH Deb focused, but this is huge news, and I'm pretty sure I won't be able to sleep tonight as a result. And this is from a reply to Chaskin. You don't get it. This isn't just another upgrade. The ZK future we thought was 10 plus years out is almost here. Ethereum is becoming a ZK rollup on mainnet. Soon your phone can be a node. That's interesting. More scale, more decentralization, no compromises. So this is in regards to real-time proving. Mainnet EVM blocks prove in under 1 Ethereum slot, 12 seconds. Goosebumps succinct proves every Ethereum L1 block. So for those a little more tech side, this probably means more to you than it does to me, but very cool to see this kind of improvement. And also very cool to see how quickly things are moving. Like, I thought this comment that the future we thought was 10 plus years out is almost here. And I think that's the case in a lot of different areas right now in general. So
yeah,
exciting and scary at the same time. This from Sophia. Building a mini app on Celo. Want Celo to reward your users. Celo PG, Public Goods, is distributing 10K Celo to apps for incentive budgets. Apply now. So if you're building something on Celo, go check this out. This will help you to drive more users to it and build more mini apps on Farcaster, which would be great. This is coming up Thursday. Tomorrow is Bitcoin Pizza Day. We are not going to be streaming this year. We did stream it last year, and I'm not sure where I'm going to be, so I didn't want to commit to that. But excited for Bitcoin Pizza Day. I will definitely be partaking in pizza, if not at a party, just in my home. Cheers to all. And good luck, Snacks and Pizza DAO, putting this all together. This is a massive, massive undertaking, and it's really fun. So go take a look at Pizza DAO's site. You can find different parties near you. There's probably one close by. Go hang out, meet some folks, have some pizza. All right. We got a few things from the builders. This from Drew Kaufman. Great day at the shop, soon to be known as Noun Coffee. Noun Coffee, not Noun's Coffee. This has been a long time in the making. They were funded for this about a year ago, I think, and they had a number of different challenges getting this open, as happens with any IRL type of business like this. But it's finally almost here. They've been doing pop-ups for this whole past year here and there. You may have seen them at events and things like that, and this is exciting to see. So congrats, Drew and Derek. I can't wait to go visit it, actually, next time I'm in LA. This from Colin at Paragraph. Exciting to introduce a new way to grow your audience and get more from your writing. Automatically cross-post from Medium, Substack, Ghost, and more to Paragraph. Reach new readers, spark deeper discussion, and unlock new ways for people to support your work. So that's exciting. Are you going to cross-post your Substack?
How could I not?
I mean, why not? Right?
If I wrote my Substack anymore.
I know. When you decide to get back to it. But also it would read better in the timeline, is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because you won't have to link out. You can just read it right in the app, which is cool.
Yeah, I do. I want to do this.
Yeah, that would be cool. And this from Priyanka, introducing an artist-made, artist-owned mini app for Manifold mints on Base. So this is her new mini app that you can collect via Manifold right on here. And I was like, oh, wow, that's very cool. And it turns out that this was a work from Keckers. So I asked, Frames in Blue, which is her mini app, will be for my Manifold mints. This is from Priyanka. But any artist can remix the app on Replit and create their own and deploy. Keckers wrote a tutorial on how to go about it. So that is very cool. So if you're an artist and you are minting on Manifold or want to, or looking for a location to mint your work, you can have your own tailored mini app in just a few clicks. So that is very cool. And shout out Keckers for just being awesome like that. Lastly, want to touch on this. We have a Farcaster Retropgf round coming up. So this is from Octant, proud to be partnering with the biggest Farcaster round with Taya, Base, DWR, and C. Corella. And this is now open. Submissions for Farcaster Spring 2025 are RPGF, so Retro PGF, are now open. Grant reward past work that's positively impacted Farcaster. To enter, post your project with Farcaster PGF Spring 2025 in the Octant channel, only one nomination per person. So get those applications in. And thank you, Tayab, for all the work you've done on this. It's been a lot, I am certain. Also, Octant has been firing on all cylinders. They have a lot going on. Their V2's coming out. They're going to be working with a lot of other projects to help with grant funding and also this. So this is from Octant. Scammers are leveling up. Are you? Even pros are getting wrecked these days. That's why we're teaming up with revokecash.twitter for a 1-hour crash course in crypto safety. No fluff, just what to do and how to do it. Sign up to attend below. So that is on Tuesday, May 27th at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you want to go check that out, very cool thing that they're doing to help out the ecosystem. So amazing. We love you.
If I'm not on jury duty, I'm there.
I know, very cool. I was like, oh, this is really nice that they're doing this. I wish it was happening during my class. When I was teaching my class, I might shoot that over to my students in case they want to attend, but that would have been perfect for my students.
I'm so interested. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what they're going to talk about, because when I got into crypto, I just felt like I couldn't like take a breath without getting slapped in the face with someone being like, this is what you need to know about security. This is what you need to know about security. And it just feels like it's not talked about as much these days. Now, granted, there's tons more done to improve, like on app layers and, but
even on wallet layers, like there was a lot of, for a while, you had to integrate an extension, like an extra extension or an extra thing like Pocket Universe or something like that to alert you if there was something scammy about what you were about to do. And now it's integrated into the wallets, which is nice. Like I think Join Fire was another one.
Right.
So there was people out there.
Yeah. So I'm curious just like how it's being communicated. So I would like to join. And if I can't, because I'm stuck in jury duty,
yeah, I'm sure it'll be recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be recorded. But that is cool to see. Oh, are you talking? Oh, I see. Did you even show it on the screen? There you
go. No, because you have to.
So she said, does anyone here in the live stream want a preview of our mini app before I launch it later this week? I mean, I'm going to go with, yeah, of course you do. So it's pretty cool. Do you want to talk about it real quick before we wrap?
Yeah. So special treat right now if you're live and you want to check out our mini app before I launch it, because there's a few more tweaks I need to make. It is live at miniapp.gmfarcaster.com. So how do you even open a mini app when it's not listed yet? And I don't know, you can put it in a cast and I think the preview comes, you can DM it to yourself. You can, I don't know, you can use the developer tool.
Or you could DM it to them. It'll work in the DMs because it did work for me. So,
but if you go check it out right now, you'll be able to watch us live from Farcaster.
And it is working. Have you been checking it?
It is right here.
Ooh, very exciting.
There it is. The way it works, it's a very simple mini app, and it shows, like, the main thing is just to watch a video. If we're live, it should show us live. If we're not, it'll just show our last recorded episode.
I'm opening it now to see how we're doing.
And
yep, we're live. And then we can send a Yep, I'm watching myself. That's fantastic. We're going to be able to send notifications too, correct? For when we're live? Is that the plan as well?
Yes. If you open it up in Mini App, if you add the app, like when it prompts you to save the app, save it, and then that way we can send you notifications when we're live in Farcaster. Gregarious, I don't know what you mean it shows on the web.
I know what he's saying. Yeah, you can just go into the, you can see it on the site.
You can just go.
Yeah. It's not the same though, Gregarious.
Yeah,
as it is in the little mini app.
Farcaster.
It's not the same. I was trying to open it up to see, but
yeah, you can watch
live.
But there's no chat.
Yeah, it's not the same.
So I've got lots of things I need to, a few more tweaks I want to make, and I'll launch it to probably everyone tomorrow. And if you check it out early and have any feedback, send to me. And
here it is.
Oh, hey.
So at least you can see what it looks like.
Browser. That's the web.
Yes, that's the web version of this, but you'll have this as a mini app as well. So, but this is now, if I play this is going to get two-way into Inception, but it is working. So you can watch us live on here, or you can watch the most recent episode if we're not live. So, and then there's also some links to different things down here, our Spotify, all our things. So, yeah, very cool. So she's been working hard on this.
And we're exactly. There is a way to launch mini apps without them being listed, but you have to be a Farcaster Pro. You have to have a Farcaster Pro subscription.
No, you don't.
That's true.
It's not a thing yet. So yeah, I'm excited because she's been working on this for a bit, and then also there'll be like an integration with the bot and all these kinds of stuff eventually. So, very cool, very exciting.
I mean, I can open source it. What would it do? Why?
Why? But why?
Will people help me build it? Then sure.
Amazing. All right. And with that, everyone, we will be back at noon today for the CastOut recap. We'll launch the final challenge. I wonder, hold on one second. I'm going to see if something else is ready yet, and maybe I'll tell you about that right now real quick. Give you a little alpha. Let me see if it's here. Yes, it is. So there is a tournament right now, live, CastOut tournament in Farcade. It might hold some alpha for the players. It might not. But also anyone can play in the tournament. So there's 3 games that you can play. It's Hyperheat, GeoCrush, and Farnouns. And you can play those, and the winners of each who are on Farcaster will also win 5,000 DGen from courtesy of CastOut. So anyone can play that part of it. And I'm going to throw that out there shortly, let everybody know about it, but we'll also be back at noon to talk more about all the fun things happening with CastOut. And yeah, no, I did not include Flappy Nouns. You're welcome. I didn't want to torture the poor PTSD'd players who had to go through that. All right. Anything else, Adrienne, before we call it? All right. We're going to call it here, guys. It's been a lot of fun. We will see you at noon, and then we'll be back with GM Farcaster on Friday at 8:30 p.m. No, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. I don't know where that came from.
Please, no.
No. So we'll see you then. And with that, everyone, bye-bye.